Hello and welcome to Very Hard Questions, the quiz contest that unsurprisingly asks the very hardest questions on television. I ask myself very hard questions on a daily basis, like, at a cinema, which armrest is yours? We've assembled some of the very brightest brains in Britain to do battle in the very hardest of quizzing competitions. The more points our teams can score, the greater their chance of winning a place in the grand final, where the victors will walk away with a £5,000 prize, this magnificent trophy here, and the crown of Very Hard Questions Series champion. Playing today are Dave, Jim and Jimmy. They are Mexborough Bandits, and their opponents are Ben, Amber and John, also known as Show No Mercy. We tossed a coin backstage, and Mexborough Bandits, you will go first. Welcome to the show, Mexborough Bandits. Good to see you. Love that shirt. I'll assume you're not into organised crime, so tell me where the team name actually comes from.
Well, actually, John, you're totally wrong, because we were actually arrested robbing a bank wearing sombreros. So that's where the name comes from.
Mexborough. I see. How much did you get?
No, the bank was shut.
I see. What is your connection with the other two? Do you play as a team regularly?
Yeah, I play in the same team as Dave and Jimmy.
Good.
Regularly on Tuesday nights.
And what are your strengths?
Me, I come up with the weird and wonderful. Dave knows everything, and Jimmy knows what's left.
Excellent. Let's meet your opponents. Welcome, Show No Mercy. Tell me about the team name, please.
So, John lives on the Wirral, which is Merseyside. Ben grew up in Merseyside, and my dad's from Liverpool.
John, you told us you were a professional poker player.
I was working for Barclays, and I gave up to make a living from poker. And then when I decided that long-term that wasn't the best option, I went back to university and got a law degree, and now that's what I'm working towards.
Ben, what's your deal? What do you do?
I work in a library, Bolton Central Library.
So you spend your time perusing the books and then doing quizzes. And what is your quizzing CV like?
Pretty good, yeah. I got to the final of Mastermind a couple of years ago. I came 5th out of 6.
That is something to boast about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, lovely to meet you all, and best of luck today. OK, teams, if you're ready, let's play Very Hard Questions. In round one, each team will answer 4 very hard questions. But to help, you have 7 clues to use across the round. First letter gives you the first letter of the first word of the answer. Picture clue offers up a visual cryptic clue. Extra fact gives you more information about the answer. Definition is a dictionary-style description of the answer. Add words inserts more information into the question itself. Different question shows you another question with the same answer. And related words, which are 3 words, all connected to the answer. But every time a clue is used, it will cost you a point, and you won't be able to use it again in that round. So use them wisely. And make sure you don't end up completely clueless. Mexborough Bandits, here is your first very hard question. According to biographer Paolo Giolvio, which major artist at the age of 21 passed off a piece titled Sleeping Eros as an authentic Roman artwork?
Oh, I've not come across it. Have you, Dave?
No. Any idea?
This is worth 4 points if you can get it straight off without any clues.
Related words?
Try that.
Related words, please, John.
Related words it is. Divine, Simone, Peter.
It's not Rembrandt. I don't think
think
Peter
so.
were it, no. It's a different question, or an extra fact.
Go for an extra fact.
An extra fact, please, John.
Extra fact coming up. Within 4 years of that early piece, the artist found fame for a renowned artwork depicting Christ and the Virgin Mary.
Still don't.
Right.
Michelangelo? Is it Michelangelo?
That's what I think it is, Michelangelo.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
You want to
that's
go for
what
that?
it is. One of the famous pieces.
We're going to say Michelangelo.
Right. For 2 points, let's see if Michelangelo is the correct answer. Well done indeed. Michelangelo carved the marble statue Sleeping Eros in the 1490s and aged it in order to make it appear to be ancient. And related words, divine, he was known as Il Divino, or the divine Michelangelo. Simone is his last name. Peter, Michelangelo took over as chief architect of St. Peter's Basilica in 1546. Very well done. 2 points scored. Show no mercy. Let's have a look at your first very hard question. According to local press, in 2013, police in China's Xinjiang province announced that they were using which animals as an alternative to guard dogs, citing their vigilance, courage, and excellent sense of hearing.
I have no idea. I mean, excellent
don't
sense of
think
hearing could be a bat, but that
They're
wouldn't
not
use
going
as
to
a guard
guard.
dog.
I mean, geese are very kind of,
they are, aren't
vicious.
they?
But
Yeah.
have they got an
Are they
excellent sense
vigilant
of
and
hearing?
courage?
They're vigilant.
Well, we don't know the answer, so we're obviously
Yeah.
going to have to.
What do we want? What clue do we
Well,
want?
if we get the first letter,
It's worth
the
4
first letter of an
points.
animal, but there's going to be several animals with that name. A different
Picture
question.
clue.
Different question,
Different
Different question relating to
Yeah.
the same animal, I think would be quite useful.
Okay, could we please have a different question, John?
Different question coming up. Which animals appear in the title of a 1978 film in which Richard Burton and Roger Moore play Colonel Alan Faulkner and Lieutenant Sean Finn, respectively?
That's wild geese, that film.
We'd like to say geese, please.
For 3 points, let's see if geese is the right answer. It is. Congratulations. Well done. A great start. Great start, both teams. Geese have also been used for a similar purpose at a Scottish whisky distillery, where they come to be known as the Scotch Watch. There we go. That is the correct answer, and your score's now 3 points. Mextra Bandits, let's have a look at your second very hard question. The hurler's stone circles that legend states are the remains of men petrified for playing hurling on the Sabbath are in which county?
Would first letter help? No, it counties, would it?
Different question.
Different question, yeah?
Yeah, try a different question.
Let's try a different question, please, John.
Different question it is. The Barbara Hepworth Museum and Sculpture Garden, which has been run by the Tate Gallery since 1980, is in which county?
I thought it was Cornwall. But...
Jim, are you aware of which county now? I'm not.
No, I'm not sure, but-
Dave,
No, I'm not
you
sure,
think it's
but we'll have
Cornwall?
to- we'll have
You
to
think
find
another clue?
It'll cost you a point.
Another clue?
Try
You want
first
letter then?
First letter.
We'll try first letter, please, John.
OK. First letter
Yeah.
is
Going for
C.
it then.
Yeah.
So we're going to go for Cornwall then.
For 2 points, let's see if Cornwall is the correct answer. Cornwall it is.
Well done, Dave.
The Barbara Hepworth Museum and Sculpture Garden is in St Ives.
Yeah.
And it scores you 2 points. Show no mercy. Let's have a look at your second very hard question. Which pen name used by a major author born in the 1830s is a nautical term used in sounding?
It's a pen name.
Use bone.
George Eliot was a pen name.
George Eliot was it?
George
But
Eliot.
is Eliot or George
No,
going to be a
that's any of
nautical
those.
term using sounding?
You're
Major author, born in the 1830s. So we want contemporaries for Dickens, but not. But and maybe a little.
Did Edward Lear or...
Bronte's used.
You have 6 clues that you can choose from, indeed.
Well, first let's go tell us which of them they are, isn't it? Because it's... What was Emily? They all used something Bell, and it was always the first letter of the first name. So it's Acton Bell is one. I think it was Curabell was
Curabell for
Charlotte. What was, I
Charlotte.
can't remember what Emily's was, so...
I don't know.
I think we go for first letter and hope it's not the E.
Add words and relate. I think it's the only option we've got. As,
Yeah.
as,
Got
as
4 points at the moment, but you're down to 3 when you use your clue.
Could we please have the first letter?
First letter coming up. M.
Oh, well, we're well off.
Oh, well then that's quite lucky. Okay.
Now we're in trouble. When was Mark Twain born?
Oh, Samuel, that's not his real name, is it? Samuel Longhorn?
Samuel Clemens is his real name.
He would be around then, wasn't he?
Do we want to risk it though?
I think we could take another clue.
We could take related words and that. You're know enough about Mark Twain, wouldn't you, to know if it was...
Should do, yeah.
It'll cost you a point.
Yep.
You-
Yeah,
Are
I'm
we,
happy
are
with
we
that.
happy? You want to go related words?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Could we please have related words, John?
Related words. Hannibal, steamboat, Halley.
That sounds
Well,
like
Steamboat
Mark
could
Twain
be
to
Mark
me.
Twain, isn't it? It's Huckleberry.
That
Yeah.
feels right.
I don't know what the Halley bit or Hannibal bit would be, though.
Steamboat though.
Yeah, it's a steam. It's
feels-
definitely a steamboat in one of his books. I'm sure it's. They sneak onto it, don't they, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer. I think we'll have to go for it because we're not going. I don't think we're going to get any better from any more clues. So it's just
Do
a
you know
waste of
what?
them.
I think you might
Yeah,
be right.
I think
Okay.
so.
Yep. Could we say Mark Twain, please?
For 2 points, let's see if Mark Twain is the correct answer.
Hey,
Mark Twain, well done, well done, well done.
I'll stop that.
It is widely believed that he chose his pen name when he heard it being used on the Mississippi River. Mark Twain means Mark 2 fathoms, which
Throwing
you'd
weights.
want if you were in the Mississippi, because if you didn't have 2 fathoms, you'd be on the bottom. And the related words Hannibal, Missouri is where Mark Twain grew up. Steamboat, he trained as a steamboat pilot on the Mississippi River. Halley, he was born very close to an appearance of Halley's Comet and accurately predicted he would go out with it. He died the day after it reappeared in 1910. Quite a story. And it scores you 2 points. We are at the halfway point of round 1, so let's take a look at the scores. Mexborough Bandits have 4 points, and Show No Mercy are just in the lead with 5 points. It's time for a short break, but when we return, our teams will face some more very hard questions. How will they get on? Stay with us to find out. Welcome back to Very Hard Questions. Both our teams are vying for a top 2 spot on the leaderboard and a place in the end of series final. Mexborough Bandits, let's have a look at your third very hard question. The first football match to be shown live on television, which was broadcast on the 16th of September 1937, was between the first and reserve teams of which football club?
It's Arsenal.
Is it?
Yeah,
You
I'd
sure?
go for it.
You go for 4?
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go for Arsenal.
That was unbelievably quick and said with enormous confidence.
It's Dave, not me.
For 4 points, let's see if Arsenal is the correct answer. Spectacular.
Well done, Dave.
Spectacular. Arsenal were chosen for the friendly as their stadium was the closest ground to the BBC's headquarters at Alexandra Palace. Very well played, and it scores you 4 points. Now, Show No Mercy, let's have a look at your third very hard question. In 2007, a rubbish tip in Palmerston North in New Zealand was named after which comedian after they reported having had a thoroughly miserable time in the city?
So 2007, who's going to be on a world tour in
There'll
2007?
be a lot of people.
Like,
I don't.
who complains a lot as well? Like
Jack
Ricky
D-
Gervais?
It won't be Ricky Gervais, but well, it could be, I suppose. But it could be Jack D. But I think it's probably someone more better. It's going to be someone very well known. I think.
Billy Connolly or someone like that.
Billy Connolly. It's going to be someone very well known. But I don't know what to go for on this.
What about definition? Like, how would you define like a person's name?
It's a good point. Do you want to go?
Good point.
Okay, we'll go for that then.
Could we please have definition, John?
It's going to cost you a point, but you can have definition. Actor and screenwriter born in Weston-super-Mare on the 27th of October 1939.
Could we say John Cleese, please?
For 3 points, let's see if John Cleese is the correct answer. John Cleese it is. My goodness, this is rolling along here. Well done. The tip at the landfill was named Mount Cleese by New Zealand comedian John Clark, who is from the city. Cleese also said, "If you wish to kill yourself but lack the courage to do so, I think a visit to Palmerston North will do the trick." Very, very impressive. 3 points. Mexborough Bandits, let's have a look at your final very hard question of the round. Commissioned by the publishers Collins to create black and white drawings, Peggy Fortnum was the original illustrator of which well-known fictional character who first appeared in 1958?
Any ideas, Dave? Any clues?
No,
I'm not into
I've not heard of
drawings.
this one at all.
I've got a clue.
It's too late for Betty Boo, isn't it? Way too late.
It don't have to be a cartoon character anyway.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to go for a clue, but which one?
It'll cost you a point.
Do you want a clue? You think definition would help?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
But
I don't know any of them that'll help there. I can't.
You've been running along like an express train and suddenly you've hit the buffers.
Words?
yeah, do you want to try AdWords?
Yeah.
Well,
If you
why
can
not?
words.
Yeah.
Let's try AdWords, please, John.
AdWords coming up. Who first appeared in 1958 and lives at Windsor Gardens.
Well, that don't help me. Does it help you?
No.
No? Dave?
No.
Right.
No, not a clue.
So, definition or picture?
I'll leave that up to you.
Oh, thanks a lot, Jim. Can we try definition, please, John?
Definition it is. The central character of a series of children's books who travel to London after his guardian moves into a retirement home.
Oh, God. These are getting worse. They're getting harder. Is it just William?
No, it is.
It's not Paddington, is
Paddington
it?
Bear.
Right.
No.
You're going for that, then?
Yeah,
Right, we'll go for Paddington Bear, then, please, John.
For 2 points, let's see if Paddington Bear is the correct answer. Paddington Bear. Peggy Fortnum was commissioned to illustrate the first book, A Bear Called Paddington, and went on to illustrate the rest of the novels in the series. Well done. That was correct and scores you 2 points. Show no mercy. Let's have a look at your final very hard question of the round. Which chart-topping band was originally called Seymour after taking inspiration from the name of a J.D. Salinger character?
That
feel like I
sounds
know.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would they be allowed to be called after something else from
Yeah.
Catcher in the Rye?
Oh,
So,
I don't know.
yeah, like no band called Holden Call.
Wasn't Sixpence None the Richer? Weren't they? Wasn't that?
They a chart-topping band?
They-
Might have been
I d-
20 years ago.
Sixpence None the Richer was definitely a quote. It was definitely from something like Catcher in the Rye.
Should we put that in the maybe pile?
Yeah. No, that's
we're-
fine.
we're
That's
gonna-
fine. No.
We are going to need a clue.
It's fine.
So picture clue we know is going to be cryptic. Extra fact is going to be about the band, which may help Ben with his music knowledge.
I would say extra fact.
I agree. I
Okay,
think
it's
extra
fine.
fact makes most sense. John, could we please have an extra fact?
Extra fact coming up. In 2009, in recognition of the first gig this band played, a plaque was unveiled at the East Anglian Railway Museum near Colchester.
The answer is Blur.
Is it really?
Really?
Yeah.
We'd like to say Blur, please.
For 3 points to take the lead, let's see if Blur is the correct answer. Blur it is.
Wow, are you a Blur fan?
They're okay. I'm not a huge fan. They're all right.
Well, that'll be pleasing to them. Seymour Glass appears in multiple works by J.D. Salinger. Well played, and it scores you 3 points. We're at the end of round one, so let's take a look at the scores. Mexcra Bandits have 10 points, and Show No Mercy have taken the lead with 11 points. So after level pegging, you suddenly pushed ahead. Is it a sign of things to come? Stay tuned, see what happens. Welcome back to Very Hard Questions, where I've been subjecting today's teams to a thorough examination of their general knowledge. Let's get straight on with round two. Now, in this round, you will tackle your own board of 3 questions, but now you must choose in which order to answer them. But be warned, answer a question incorrectly, and your round is instantly over, and any points scored in the round will be lost. You now only have 5 clues to use across all 3 questions. And remember, the more clues you use, the more points you lose. Let's have a good look at your clues. Different question and extra fact, both of which you have already seen. Multiple choice, you see 4 possible answer options, but only 1 is correct. Audio clue, you'll be played an oral hint to the answer. Redacted text, you'll see a sentence containing the answer, but the key information has been censored. Mexcra Bandits, here's your board of 3 questions. Question 1. In which city was Frau Trofea when, in 1518, she became the first to succumb to what has become known as the Dancing Plague, when hundreds of people were unable to stop themselves from manic movement? Question 2. Which US presidential spouse wrote a book about life in the White House from the perspective of their dog that was launched at the Pierpont Morgan Library? Question 3, the Mpemba effect, the phenomenon whereby in certain conditions hot water can freeze faster than colder water, was proposed in 1963 by a Tanzanian school student after their experiments freezing what? Well, which question would you like to take first?
Any preference on order? You take them as they are.
Yeah, go from
Take them as they come.
OK. Question 1. In which city was Frau Trofea when, in 1518, she became the first to succumb to what has become known as the Dancing Plague, when hundreds of people were unable to stop themselves from manic movement?
So do you think we should go for extra fact?
I'm saying
Yeah,
we need a
yeah,
clue,
go
don't
for
we?
an extra fact.
So let's go for extra fact, please, John.
Extra fact coming up. This city in eastern France was known by the Romans as Argenteratum.
Well, that's silver, isn't it? So, eastern France, north, south, east. Any ideas, Jim?
No.
No.
That came into my mind, actually, but... Yeah,
What came into your mind?
Leon.
Leon.
But
If you get it wrong,
you've nothing to...
you want to go for another clue, or do you want to move on and pass?
You're quite right. If you get it wrong, you don't get anything in this round.
Would you want to try multiple choice? Then?
Okay, yeah. Let's try multiple choice then, please, John.
Multiple choice words are Brussels, Strasbourg, Metz, Rotterdam.
Brussels and Rotterdam aren't in eastern France, so it can't be those two. Strasbourg is really eastern France, isn't it?
Well, where's Metz? Further north.
Well, I don't know.
It's further north, Metz.
It's worth 2 points. If you take a clue, it'll be 1 less point.
Let's go for a different question, please, John.
A different question.
Yep.
In which city near the River Rhine did composer Rouget de Lille write the French national anthem, La Marseillaise, in 1792?
It's no help either, is it?
Well, to me,
No.
No.
We'll pass.
Yeah.
I'll have to do.
We'll have to pass.
If you pass, you can't return to the question.
Yeah.
If you
No,
get
we
a
know
pass.
that.
OK.
Yeah, that's fine.
So now the pressure is off. What are your ideas?
Strasbourg. For
Strasbourg.
It is Strasbourg.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, courage of conviction.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
We've obviously no
You've
courage,
used
John.
3 of your clues, unfortunately, on all that.
Yeah.
So which question would you like to go to next?
Question 2, please, John.
Right. Which US presidential spouse wrote a book about life in the White House from the perspective of their dog that was launched at the Pierpont Morgan Library?
2 clues left, Dave. We've got audio clue or redacted text.
Well, we might as well try audio clue, haven't we?
OK.
Help us week for
Yeah.
one.
Hey, you can.
Let's try audio clue, please, John.
Audio clue coming up.
I don't know this is so.
Well, Nirvana, were it? Green Day, yeah.
What Lady Day?
3 points if you get it right.
We'll have to go for that then.
What clue?
Yeah, we don't
Nothing
know.
for last question.
Well, we don't know anything on last question, do we?
So redacted text then, please, John.
Redacted text coming up. It's your final clue.
After this.
But that blank, she's really something. She's really vindictive, which was the highest compliment Nixon could deliver. Gore Vidal.
Well, they were deadly enemies, weren't they?
Emma Johnson.
Yeah. So it's, I
Lady
think.
Bird Johnson. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Lady Bird Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go for Lady Bird Johnson.
If it's incorrect, the round is over and you're getting out.
Well, we're
I'm getting out if it is. Anyhow.
For 2 points. Let's see if Lady Bird Johnson is the correct answer. Oh dear,
No.
it's incorrect. It's Barbara Bush. The dog describes a day in their life, including morning briefings, deliberations in the Oval Office, and short breaks for squirrel hunting.
Excellent.
Thought you'd like it. And the song you heard was Swallowed by Band Bush. Bad luck. I'm afraid no points there. Let's have a look at the question you didn't get to answer. The Mpemba effect, the phenomenon whereby in certain conditions hot water can freeze faster than colder water, was proposed in 1963 by a Tanzanian school student after their experiments freezing ice cream.
I want to go there in a month or something.
During school cookery lessons, Mpemba noticed when he put the hot mixture straight into the freezer, it was ready faster than when left to cool down first. Bad luck, Mextra Bandits. You haven't scored any points in that round. Show no mercy. Here is your board of 3 questions. Question 1. Who appeared as the title character in the Broadway musical Buck White that ran for only 7 performances? Question 2. What name is given to the violin crafted by Antonio Stradivari in 1716, a rare example in almost perfect condition that was presented to the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford in 1939? And question 3. After some 155 years, a tax on what was finally repealed in 1851, following its documented impact on public health?
I don't think I'm going to get question 2.
I might know 2 because I was reading the other day about the most expensive violins because I'm...
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that happens.
I can't recall it right now, but I think...
But you
with
reckon if
clue
we
I'll
get
be able
extra,
to-
we'll be able to...
We've got
OK, well then
multiple
brilliant.
choice.
OK, could we have 2 first, please, John?
Question 2. What name is given to the violin crafted by Antonio Stradivari in 1716, a rare example in almost perfect condition that was presented to the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford in 1939?
And what would you like?
Multiple choice, I think.
Very good idea. Could we have multiple choice, please, John?
Multiple choices coming up. Margarita, Disciple, Messiah, Nightingale.
Does that help you?
I think it's Messiah, but I couldn't guarantee that it's Messiah.
Or we could get the audio clue, and if it's a piece of classical music, it probably handles Messiah.
Yeah,
You
OK.
Take the audio clue.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Could we have the audio clue, please, John?
Audio clue coming up.
Sounds a lot like Handel's Messiah to me.
I think we made the right. You happy? Yeah.
We'd like to say Messiah, please.
If this isn't right,
Yeah,
you know the round's over and you ain't got nothing. Let's see for 2 points if Messiah is the correct answer. Messiah it is. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. The audio you heard was Worthy is the Lamb from the Messiah by Handel. The varnish on the violin is unworn, as it has always been a collector's piece. The nickname came about as the owner would often brag about the violin, but never showed it, prompting the comment, "Your violin is like the Messiah. One always expects him, but he never appears." Not bad. 2 points scored. Which question would you like to tackle next?
Question 1, please, John.
Who appeared as the title character in the Broadway musical Buck White that ran for only 7 performances?
I'd say
Extra fact.
different question will lead us to another.
Different question. If
Question.
it's an actor.
It's going to be
Yeah,
someone
let's-
well known. Different questions should hopefully help us with that.
Yeah. Could we have different question, please, John?
Different question coming up. Which athlete returned from Baghdad with 15 US hostages on the 2nd of December 1990 following a meeting with Saddam Hussein?
Who would would Saddam Hussein have been like a huge Muhammad Ali fan or somebody like that? And they would
Muhammad
have.
Ali did do some acting. He played himself in the film because he didn't think anyone else could do it well enough.
It's worth 3
1990 though,
points.
He was a bit.
Yeah.
He was unwell by then.
He was.
Yeah, but
Well, I don't think there's any point going for it yet because we don't know. Take extra fact. If it doesn't give it to us, we'll have to pass it. So otherwise, we'll have no chance on the last one.
fine. OK, so we're after
Extra fact.
Extra fact.
Extra fact. The performances took place at the George Abbott Theatre in December 1969.
I mean, it could suggest Muhammad Ali, but I wouldn't want to risk it.
I would probably pass this, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
we
afraid.
can't risk
Sorry.
it. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hardly need to say to you that
We
get
go-
this wrong and you lose the lot, so you're going
Exactly.
to pass anyway.
Could we pass,
please.
please?
OK, pass it is. So, who said Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid this failure of nerve cost you dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Muhammad Ali.
Sorry.
Ali took part in the musical while he was suspended from boxing after refusing to serve in the Vietnam War. Ali received good reviews for his performance, but the production didn't take off and quickly closed. Here's your final question, then. After some 155 years, a tax on what was finally repealed in 1851, following its documented impact on public health?
Well, we've got to take the clue because we don't
Yes,
know it, and then we'll just try and
obviously.
work it out from there.
Could we have redacted text, please?
Redacted text. Ere I let fall the blank of mine eyes, Richard III, by William Shakespeare.
Is that Windows?
It must be.
There was a Windows tax in operation for a long time in the UK.
It's worth 3 points. Get it wrong, lose the lot.
We only lose 2 if we get it wrong.
OK.
I think we go for it.
OK.
Windows.
Can we say Windows, please, John?
For 3 points, let's see if Windows is the correct answer. Windows it is.
Yeah.
Extremely well played. 3 points. Houses with more than 10 windows were liable for additional taxes, which increased in line with the number of windows. The blocking up of windows to avoid the tax meant people living in accommodation without sufficient light and ventilation were more likely to suffer from epidemics of typhus, smallpox, and cholera. Congratulations. Show no mercy. You scored 5 points out of a possible 12. That's the end of round 2, so let's have a look at the scores. Mexborough Bandits have 10 points, and Show No Mercy have stretched their lead and are now on 16 points. A costly round for the Mexborough Bandits, but with lots of questions still to come, they could still catch up in round 3. See how they do after the break. Welcome back to Very Hard Questions, where our teams have been competing for the points they need to secure a top spot on the leaderboard. Remember, only the 2 highest scoring teams from across the entire series will make it through to the grand final, where £5,000 and the series champion crown will be up for grabs. In round 3, each team will face 5 very hard questions, but now every one of them will be against the clock. Give a wrong answer or run out of time, and you score nothing. If everyone is ready, let's play round 3. Mextra Bandits, this is your first very hard question against the clock. Which 1973 film features a character named Lancaster Merrin?
We know, lads?
No.
No? You want a clue then? Which one?
No.
Picture clue. Come on.
Go for one.
Picture clue, please, John.
Picture clue coming up.
Don't know
Uses
what that
no
is.
because I don't know
It's
what it is.
for Dallas, isn't it?
No.
No. Victoria.
Different question, please, John.
Different question coming up. The 1983 book Legion is a follow-up to which novel published 12 years earlier?
Any idea, John?
No.
I did. No.
No.
Add words, please, John.
Add words. Father Lancaster Merrin. Bad luck, you're out of time. The correct answer was The Exorcist. The picture is of Linda Blair, who played the possessed girl Regan MacNeil. Max von Sydow plays Father Lancaster Merrin, the priest who performs the exorcism in the film.
Should have got that.
Very sorry, but no points there.
Points.
Okay.
Show no mercy. Here's your first very hard question against the clock. Who was the first British female to win 2 World Athletics Championships titles in the same event, doing so 6 years apart?
Is that going to be like Sally Gunnell or...
Not a clue.
Get the first letter, please.
OK, first letter, please, John.
First letter coming up. C.
Oh, so Caroline...
Is it, what was that, Huragu's?
Christina Hurrigan.
Christina
Is it her?
Huru.
Could
Should we
be.
go for it? Let's go for 3. OK. Can we say Christina Hurahu, please?
For 3 points. Let us see whether that is correct. Correct, Christine Ahuragu. Well done. Ahuragu first won the 400 metres title in 2007 and then again in 2013. Great achievement. Yeah. So was yours. 3 points. Mextra Bandits, here's your second very hard question against the clock. In 1899, William Henry Pickering became the first person to discover a satellite using photography when he identified which moon of Saturn.
Any ideas, Dave?
No. It's,
Extra fact, please.
Extra fact coming up.
oh, that's the largest one.
It is an irregular moon with a mean radius of approximately 66 miles, named after the grandmother of Artemis in Greek mythology.
No.
No, it's not Titan.
Yeah. First letter.
another
First
one.
letter.
First letter.
First
Please.
letter. Letter P.
Ptolemy.
Could be Pandora.
You want to go for it?
It might not. We don't want to get ourselves, shall we?
Pandora.
For 2 points. Is Pandora the correct answer? It's incorrect. The correct answer is actually Phoebe.
I've heard of it.
Because of its unusual surface appearance, Phoebe was originally thought to be an asteroid that had been captured by Saturn's gravity.
Right.
That was incorrect, so no points there. Show no mercy. Here's your second very hard question against the clock. The most visited landmark in Germany, attracting approximately 6 million visitors annually, according to the local tourist board, is located in which city?
You know?
I'd be going like Hamlin Clock Tower.
Or do you want a
I'd
different
be
question?
going,
It's
like,
going to give us
OK,
city. It's going to give us a clue to the city.
different question, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, please. Different question, please, John.
Different question coming up. Which substance was first mixed by Giovanni Maria Farina in the 18th century?
So that's going to be
Cologne.
Yes, that's gonna be
Nice,
it,
very
brilliant,
nice. Cologne, please, John.
Let us see for 3 points.
good.
Is Cologne the correct answer?
Yeah. Brilliant, Ben.
Well worked out.
Oh, de Cologne. Well done, Cologne. Excellent. It's Cologne Cathedral that draws the crowds. Well done, show no mercy. It scores you 3 points. Mextra Bandits, here's your third very hard question against the clock. Who released the 1990s album Baby Woman, having previously appeared in music videos for songs by Bob Marley and Madonna?
Any ideas?
No.
I've no idea. Extra fact.
Extra fact coming up. This person was an executive producer of the reality television program The Face, on which they also appeared as a mentor.
Never heard it before.
No.
Any ideas? No. Different question, please.
Different question coming up. Which British model appeared alongside 4 other supermodels on the January 1990 cover of British Vogue?
No ideas? I've not. Definition, please.
Definition coming up. Bad luck, you're out of time. The correct answer is Naomi Campbell.
Yeah.
The album did not make the top 40. She appeared in Bob Marley's Is This Love and Madonna's Erotica. Bad luck, no points then. Show no mercy, here's your third very hard question against the clock. In 1826, cadets at the United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, rebelled after alcohol was banned as an ingredient in what?
Any ideas?
I don't know.
OK, let's go for extra fact. Yeah?
Extra fact.
Yeah. Extra fact, please.
Extra fact. George Washington's recipe for it contained brandy, rye whiskey, rum and sherry.
Be Christmas pudding.
Eggnog, maybe? Or...
No, we better take another one.
Christmas, yeah.
Definition.
Different question.
Definition.
Can we have definition, please?
Definition coming up. Sweetened, milk-based drink flavoured with alcohol and
eggnog,
spices.
isn't it? Eggnog?
It is. What's eggnog? Eggnog, please.
Right, for 2 points. Is eggnog correct?
Oh, well done.
Eggnog it is. It became known as the Eggnog Riot. A group of cadets defied the ban and launched an eggnog party after smuggling in liquor. It deteriorated into bedlam with, well, not the liquor, but the event, with assaults on 2 officers and damage to the North Barracks. Well done, and scores you 2 points. Mextra Bandits, here's your 4th very hard question against the clock. One of the earliest recorded uses of which word is in a 2nd century work by the Roman writer Quintus Serenus Sermonicus, where it is recommended that the letters are written on papyrus in an inverted triangle.
Any clues? Well, no? Extra fact.
Extra fact coming up. The triangle was worn as a charm to ward off disease.
Picture clue, please.
Picture clue coming up. Huh.
Magic.
I think so.
Magic.
For 2 points. Is magic the correct answer?
No.
Oh, incorrect. I'm afraid the answer is very close to that. Abracadabra.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dear.
So, no points there. Show no mercy. Here's your 4th very hard question against the clock. In 2010, Canterbury Museum in New Zealand put a crate of Scotch whisky on display that had been recovered from an expedition led by whom?
I would say
That's got to be
Captain
Antarctic.
Cook, possibly, or
Hillary.
Scott.
I think it's got to
We've
be
got-
Antarctic.
well, we've got
Should we get another
first-
quote?
we've got
What, should we have
first letter.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Could we have first letter, please?
First letter coming up. E.
Edmund
Scott.
And Hillary.
It's Robert Falcon Scott.
OK, cool.
I think it's got to be Edmund Hillary. Are we happy with
I
that?
would say so.
Edmund Hillary, please, John.
For 3 points. Is Edmund Hillary the correct answer? Incorrect. The correct answer is Ernest, E for Ernest, Shackleton. 3 crates of whiskey and 2 crates of brandy had been excavated at the base Shackleton used on his expedition in 1908. That was incorrect, so no points there. Mextra Bandits, there's been a slight fading in this round, and you haven't scored any points yet. Here's your final, very hard question against the clock. According to the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, which author was chief caption writer and creator of an Eccentrics Corner for the Festival of Britain?
Ideas. I've no ideas. First letter.
First letter. L.
Not ringing any bells.
No. Extra fact.
Extra fact coming up. The second of their autobiographical trilogies entitled As I Walked Out One Midsummer Morning.
No.
No.
Picture clue.
Picture clue coming up.
Laura Lee. Laura Lee.
Laura Lee.
Let's see, for 1 point, is Laurie Lee the correct answer? Brilliant, Laurie Lee. Well done. Well done indeed. Well done, Dave. That was single-handed. That's a picture of Cider, because Cider with Rosie was the title of a memoir about his childhood. The Festival of Britain was held in 1951. The Eccentrics Corner included a Heath Robinson-style smoke grinding machine which offered smoke in 3 grades, fine, medium and coarse, and an egg roundabout. Not quite sure what that was, but... Well done. That scores you 1 point. Show no mercy, here's your final very hard question against the clock. 3 of the 4 nominees for the 2000 BAFTA TV Award for Comedy Performance were cast members of which series?
It's almost certainly going to be The Office, but I would take a clue just to be certain.
Yeah. Yes, please. Different question, please, John.
Different question. Doreen Keogh and Peter Martin played neighbours Mary and Joe Carroll in which TV series?
OK, no, that's wrong. Is that Space?
I've already said
No,
it.
it's not Spaced. Outnumbered, maybe?
No, it's not Outnumbered. Just get deaf.
Where? Oh, what about Kevin and Stacey?
No, it's much too early.
Too early.
Try
Okay.
definition.
OK, can we have definition, please?
Definition coming up. Sitcom set in a house in Manchester, first
Nice
broadcast in 1998.
I'd say Manchester.
Oh, sorry.
The Royal Family.
Let's do it. We'd like to say the royal family.
For 2 points, is the royal family correct?
Yeah, well done.
The royal family it is. Well done. Caroline Aherne, Sue Johnson and Ricky Tomlinson were all nominated. Caroline Aherne won. Very good. That's 2 more points. That's the end of round 3, so let's have a look at the scores. Mexborough Bandits have got 11 points and Show No Mercy have 26 points. Teams, you now have one last chance to win some all-important points. Need I remind you, only the 2 highest scoring teams from the entire series will contest the grand final and battle it out for £5,000 and the series champion trophy. Let's play the very hardest question. Now you will play on the buzzer against each other and only one team can walk away with the points. I will reveal a question. If you think you know the answer, buzz in, answer correctly, and you win yourself 8 points. I will continue revealing clues until someone answers the question correctly. But the points on offer will reduce each time a clue is revealed. Answer incorrectly and your team will be locked out for the remainder of the clues. Fingers on buzzers, please. Here is the very hardest question. Having a name that means Great Egg Hill, Sir Munamagi is the highest point in which country?
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? But I think we need...
Can anyone answer for 8 points?
No.
No.
First up is an audio clue.
Could be. You go for it.
No, not enough. Not enough.
Oh, Lord.
You reckon? No.
Jim,
Finland.
for 7 points, is Finland correct?
No.
I'm very sorry, Jim.
All right.
That is the incorrect answer, which does mean that you are locked out for the remainder of the clues. Show no mercy. Your next clue is redacted text. I hope one day when I say I'm from blank, people don't say, what? Where's that? Carmen Cass.
Carmen Cass. Is that anything Mama Cass?
No.
No.
Can anyone answer for 6 points?
I don't think we can answer that, can we?
I don't think we can.
No.
No, John.
No.
OK, here comes a different question. Scotland's 1996 football match against which country was abandoned after 3 seconds because the home team were absent due to a dispute over its floodlights?
I remember it happening.
Can you answer for 5 points?
It was abandoned after 3 seconds.
Yeah, the Scotland were the only one on the
They
pitch.
kicked
Other teams
off
weren't
and
there.
celebrated.
Oh, was it Estonia?
No.
OK,
Definitely
all
wasn't.
right, then we'll have to... No, can't get it then, can we?
Hang on,
Your
if
next
Estonia was
clue
abandoned-
is extra fact. It's been visited or invaded by the Vikings, the Russians, German Crusaders, Danes, Swedes, and in the 20th century, the Soviets.
Right, so that's going to be...
Could leave Norway.
Can you answer for 4 points?
So, the
They could.
Danes, Swedes...
I mean, it could be...
We're talking Finland. Well, we said Finland, so we're talking Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania.
Next clue is add words. Having a name that means Great Egg Hill, Sir Munamagi is the highest point in which Baltic country?
Beginning.
It's only one of 3. It's either Estonia,
Baltic
it's Estonia, Latvia, or Lithuania. And I've got a vague memory that football match is Estonia. I know you dismissed
Yeah,
it.
you already said it. Yeah, you already said it once.
It's one of those 3. They're the 3 Baltic countries.
3 points at stake.
I
3
think I'm going to go
points.
for this, OK?
We go for it for
If
3.
you want to.
I think or hope it's Estonia.
Let's see if Estonia is the correct answer for 3 points. Well, congratulations. You see, I mean, John is rarely wrong, it has to be said. Very rarely wrong.
Tell my wife that, please.
The music you heard is Fratras by Estonian-born composer Arvo Pärt. And the redacted quote was from Carmen Kass, an Estonian supermodel. Congratulations, you got there in the end. 3 points. And that's it. And here are the final scores. In second place, with a score of 11, we have Mexborough Bandits. But today's winners, with a score of 29, it's Show No Mercy. Now, you're all competing for a place in the series final, so let's see where those scores have put you on the leaderboard. A valiant effort to break into the top 2 by Show No Mercy, but with 29 points, they fall agonisingly short, so neither they or Mexborough Bandits can qualify for the final. Mexborough Bandits, you really started like rockets, but then you sort of fell into the sea. So join me next time when another bunch of very clever people attempt to answer some very hard questions. And finally, I leave you with this very hard question. When does it stop being partly cloudy and start being partly sunny? Goodbye.